Okay.
George Calabaris from Greece will be here with us also.
Awesome. Awesome.
And I also have a friend from Virginia who's coming because one of his nephew is playing, and he called me and said, Coach, I'm coming to the Cayman Islands.
Oh,
I
nice.
said, wonderful. So he's coming down here.
Okay.
He already has his room and everything taken care of, but he just want me to know. So I'll
Yeah.
I'll be more or less taking him around.
I think that's huge, huh? That's really huge. All right, so just letting you know, just to inform everyone, the stream is back up. So if you for some reason can't listen via radio, the YouTube stream is currently back up. So it's great to have you. You're listening to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. We have members of the Cayman Islands Classic in the studio with us, CEO, President, and event manager and consultant for the Cayman Islands Classic. So let's hear a little bit. You know what? We heard from Mr. Anglin last week.
Yeah, I talked
he talked my ear off last week.
Okay.
And so it's Coach Voot's time, you see?
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk. No, this is important. An event of this magnitude
Yeah,
cannot take place without sponsors.
right.
So I want to take this opportunity to thank the sponsors.
Okay.
The Ministry of Tourism, who has always been with us from the inception. The Ministry of Sports, they have always been with us since the inception.
Ministry
The Ministry of Education also, right? Smoothie King, Westin, Cayman Cabana, right? Seven Fathoms, Cayman Islands Brewery, Corsuless, and Fast Signs. These are what you call die-hard
Right.
sponsors
Definitely.
who love and understand basketball and the classic and what we are trying to achieve. So I must say a special thanks to all of them, because without them, this would not be possible.
Awesome. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
And speaking of an event of this magnitude, it must be very, very challenging organizing something of this magnitude. Tell us, what are some of your biggest challenges? Is that you? That's you.
Well, I mean, fortunately, when you've been doing something for a number of years, it's supposed to get a little easier each time,
Right.
right? Because again, people are more familiar with it now. And in terms of your process, you want to kind of build a template so that, when it's that time to go, it's that time to go. So, but there are a lot of different components that really go into it, and you have to identify every touch point. You want to make sure that things run as seamless as possible. So, we work very closely with Customs and Border Control and the Cayman Islands Airports Authority, so even from the very moment we receive our special guests, make sure that they have a smooth process coming through, and greeting them, getting them onto the buses in a timely fashion, getting them to the hotels, getting them checked in and everything. And some of them want to get right into the action, want to train right away. You got to make sure you
Facilities are ready for them.
you have the respective facilities. We certainly appreciate again the Department of Education and also Cayman International School for working with us in terms of the facilities and practice facilities. So again, there's a lot of different partnerships that go into play with that, and yeah, so you're dealing with all these different elements. It's so many. Literally, we have a sheet that we work off of, and it's got to be like close to 300 different action points.
Right, of course.
Covering various aspects, and even right now as we speak, several members of our team are in my office right now, getting stuff done,
And then it's from the men, you jump straight into the woman. I think there's one break, one day off.
One day off.
One day off.
Yeah, I mean, and really it's not that much of a day off, because again, you're dealing with, you're taking 8 men's teams out, and at the same time women are coming in, right? So that in itself takes a lot of coordination, and again, just hats off to to our team and really getting that stuff done in a very smooth fashion. And we also get the chance to mentor, because we have some of our younger Caymanians that serve as assistants, and so they are learning this process and different things to do in event management, and they're sharp.
Very good.
And we're giving them tools that, who knows, maybe one day they may be the next ones that are helping to carry on this.
Hats off to your
legacy.
team. You have a select team as well that you're currently working with for this. Do you care to?
Lots of volunteers.
Yeah, we have lots of volunteers, and like I said, we have some people that are very, very good at what they do in their strengths. We have Mr. Ian Yearwood, who's the head of operations. We have Mr. Kadeen Hall, who deals with a lot of the logistical things. We have Miss Me today, who heads up our volunteers, and of course that in itself is a massive task.
Yes.
Having to recruit and coordinate, the volunteers for so many different responsibilities and different aspects. So you need a team that's very diverse and has a wide variety of strengths, and I can certainly say that we have that.
Well, just to let you know too that the kids, we having our annual KMAC Sports Camp
Right.
on Saturday. That starts at 9 a.m. And all the young children, all the young promising future basketballers, they're encouraged to come out and be at the camp.
We expect everyone that took part in the junior NBA to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that should be a pack.
The gym should be full.
Yeah. we have Joe Wright with us, who has
Yes.
played in about 15 different countries.
Yes.
Kids will get a chance to meet Joe Wright. And
Will Sam Perkins be
them.
there early
no, Sam Perkins coming on the 24th.
on the 24th?
But,
Okay.
yeah.
but there will also be a guest appearance from two of the Boise State players as well.
Okay.
So they'll be there at that camp, and again, kids get the opportunity again to see, touch, and feel somebody who's doing it right now, who's where a lot of them want to be. Get a chance to do some question and answer. Find out from them what's it like, what does it take to get there, what is it like right now, what things do you struggle with. So that's very important for them to hear that, and so KMAC Sports does a fantastic job at giving back, because like you said, there's a camp there, there's a Special Olympics camp. In addition to that, KMAC Sports sponsors the primary school basketball league,
Yes.
right?
Oh, that's huge.
Right, and you're talking, last year it
26
was
teams.
29 actually,
29,
over
29.
300 kids, so you're talking about roughly 15 boys and 15 girls teams,
Right.
taking part in that. So that's really, really big.
That is huge. And speaking of this, going back to the sport itself, what role does the Cayman Islands Classic play in promoting basketball here in the Cayman Islands,
Well,
Coach?
If you were the junior NBA, when it was girls, what was it? The title
Play
was?
to learn.
No, girls.
Her time.
Her
Her
time,
time
to
to
play.
play.
Her time to play.
We had over
Yeah.
60 girls. I'm talking just girls alone on the court.
Yeah.
And that was amazing to look on the court and see only young girls. How many young girls are playing basketball now? So the Cayman Classic has really generated some interest.
Do you think the rise of WNBA as well has done that?
Oh,
with-
definitely.
The rise of Clayton Clark.
Definitely.
No.
No.
The rise of
W-
the rise of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
Get her
Let's
started.
get it right,
Don't get
John.
me started.
We give both props here.
I would say that entire 2024 class,
Yes. Yeah.
they did an amazing. There's a lot of stars on there that did a fantastic job at elevating.
And something I spoke to the event organizer for the Junior NBA that was here, Mr. Daniel Suarez. I asked him, I saw that, I noticed, I think WNBA is a new recent logo on a part of their logo, the Junior NBA logo, but there were no women's jerseys. They were only men's. So the girls were wearing Chicago Bulls and not Chicago Sky. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I asked him about that as well, and he says, you know what, that's a very important question, and we are definitely right now at the moment looking into that. So next year, we're hoping to have
Right.
the girls wear,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And,
yeah.
I mean, when I looked at the turnout, I was
Yeah, that was
I
huge.
so-
He
I
was surprised
I
as
was
well.
extremely
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
good.
They were very impressed.
So we're
with the
looking to see
turnout,
those same girls at this camp coming up on Saturday.
where everybody's
Right.
invited.
Yeah, definitely. So
Everybody.
give us the logistics again about that camp.
Okay, the camp starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday. It goes from 9 to 10, 10:15, and then we have the Special Olympic camp that will go for an hour after that. So we should be wrapping up by 11:30. Everything should be wrapping up for the camp, but it should be a morning of fun. We have two top college players there. We have a top player in Joe Wright there. So the kids have people to see and talk with as regards how they're going to attain their goals.
How are you guys balancing the competitive aspect of the tournament with the goal of providing a great experience for the players and the fans?
You said balancing the competitive aspect.
Of the tournament.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's something we. So, what would you say? Well, I mean, in terms of the teams, there's not much you can control about that. They're going at it, right?
Right.
I mean, they're going at it. It's for bragging rights, and of course, everybody wants to be the Cayman Islands Classic champion. But I think the tournament director does a fantastic job at finding great teams. And several times there's always like 2 or 3 teams that you say, who? I never heard of that team before.
Right.
And then you watch them play, and you say, wait a minute, they're no joke.
Right.
So there are a lot of really solid programs out there that may not get as much TV time as some other ones, but you can rest assured that you're going to see some really high level basketball being played.
For the women as well.
Oh yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean the women have stolen the show. I mean since last year.
Women, yeah.
The next step is WNBA or NBA.
Yeah.
That's the highest level. Well, as
then
Colin said, it's not amateur anymore because
Right.
of NIL.
Right, and then most of these athletes usually go straight off to either the NBA or the WNBA right after.
Or Europe
Right.
to play.
We missed the chance of seeing Angel Reese here last year with LSU, but she immediately transitioned to the WNBA the same year, so
Right.
that's pretty cool. It was good to have her.
Right. It basketball's changed throughout the world. I mean, a lot of the European ladies and men's are exceptionally good. If you've seen the NBA draft, there was more Europeans drafted in the NBA than Americans. So I think the competition is even stronger than it's ever been. Because when I was growing up, it was we go outside and we just play basketball and learn how to play on our own. We didn't have the internet to look up certain things to do and how to get better and how to get faster, stronger, to shoot better. Nowadays, you can just get online and see everything you want. There's lots of private trainers that you can get. Everybody's about it, and there's so much money involved now.
Yes.
So it's growing and it's going to continue to grow. And once you get to high school and you're good enough to play college, there's only like 2% of those players get to make it to the next level.
Right.
So when you get to that next level, it's not about working hard or getting this done. It's like it's a mindset that if I'm going to move up again, then these are the things that I got to do anyway. So it's more intense, more at stake, and it's a great opportunity.
When you look at sports at present, any particular discipline, to be a professional, I put in the colloquial parlance, you have to go that sport mad.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you cannot just be an average player and decide to go to the NBA or soccer. You got to really live the dream.
Right.
And what we want to teach young people, a lot of kids saying, I want to be an NBA player. But when you hear about Kobe Bryant and the things that they have done, this guy never lived. This guy never really lived. This guy, he trained 3 and 4 times a day.
Right.
3 and 4 times a day. And a guy will want to put in an hour and a half here and say he's good. But when you go to the States and you see guys who are putting in 8 and 9 hours to play school basketball, that's a different. Look at Joshua had the opportunity to play with what's his name
From the Lakers.
Austin Reeves.
Austin
Reeves. Yeah.
They played together. And you know what he told me? He said, Daddy, he was always phenomenal. However, he didn't like to train. But when he got selected, he said that he's training like 3-4 times a day now. And look at the step up that this guy.
Oh yeah, he's improved tremendously.
Tremendously.
Yeah, you've seen the huge
You understand?
difference.
Yes. And that's the kind of mentality you need to have if you want to play professional in any discipline.
So what advice would you say, and I know you just gave us a little tip, but what advice would you say you'd give young athletes that are aspiring to reach that high level?
Okay, I'll start from the tender age. If you're between 9 and 12, you can play quite a few different sports. But from the time you reach 13 and 14, you have to specialize in 2.
Right.
Right? And then at 16, you should know exactly where you're heading. Because to play 5 and 6 sports at 16 years or 4 and 5 sports, you could be a jack of all trades and master of none. You got to specialize early. Because everybody, take for example, you have over 5 million players trying to get a spot with 5. How many people in the NBA? 500?
About 350 players play in the NBA.
I thought it was 500, right?
It might be a little bit more, but it's around that.
No,
that's you're going to win the lottery before you play in the NBA. That's a fact. That's a fact. So just to give you an example,
Most people usually say it's about connections, huh? Yeah.
well, it's only one
sometimes.
or two. You got
Yeah.
2 players in the NBA that's all about the connection.
Connections. Well,
I don't even want to go there. But anyway,
He's in the G League now.
is he?
I was just about to say, well, is he?
Yeah.
Because
So-
apparently he isn't.
Right. I started my kids out at 2 and 4 years old, and then we played 3 sports up until 11 or 12.
Okay.
And then I let them decide on what they wanted to let go, and they both let go of baseball, and then it was football and basketball. And then once they got to high school, it was football and basketball, and they played. My oldest one played all the way through his senior year and played great. We thought he was going to be a football player, actually, and then he decided that probably basketball is probably the best bet for him. But my youngest one, he decided to quit football after his junior year. No, his junior year and senior year, and just focused on basketball, and he got into, played really good his junior year and got accepted to go to a prep school called Link here. It's probably one of the top prep schools in the country, and played there, and it's done him well. But the training that they've done is easily 2 times a day,
Right.
easily. And once you get to the college level, because my youngest son, he's at Valparaiso University, and his shooting coach used to coach Kobe Bryant
Right.
for a couple of years. He played at Indiana University, went to a Final Four. Both his coaches went to the Final Four, and one won it. And he said that Kobe Bryant would train 3 and 4 times a day for 2 hours at a time, starting at 4 in the morning.
Yep, that's the crazy you're talking.
It's crazy.
That's the crazy
That's the
one.
crazy you're talking.
But you
It
see the
happen
results.
by accident. you know.
Yeah, it
So
didn't
the
happen by
results-
right. It didn't happen by accident.
We see the end results.
Yeah.
You know, I remember a guy said to me, he said, Coach, you think Michael Jordan was good? You should see him in practice.
Yeah.
He said some of the things that guy did in practice, people have never seen. These guys put the hours in.
Yeah.
They put the hours in. And we need our athletes to know here, you don't just get up one morning and be a professional. You got to live it. You got to live that.
And you have to take care of your body as well. And
That's
I'm not a huge LeBron James fan, as most of my listeners know. But I in watching that Netflix series with the NBA
Starting
players,
Five, I believe it's
Starting
called.
Five, I have to say I really admire how he takes care of his
Oh,
body. And that is the reason why he
Yeah,
has
that-
excelled and
Oh,
Yeah.
for
he's
this long.
not injury prone throughout his season.
He's now sharing
and
it.
he's sharing it
Yeah.
because eyebrows.
Anthony Davis, yes.
He's no longer injured. I know. It's been 2 years since he's been injured, I think.
Yeah, it's a surprise.
It's a surprise. I have a feeling LeBron
He's in the
sharing
chamber. He
recipe.
goes in the
He's in
chamber.
the chamber.
He goes in
Right.
the chamber.
Yeah, yeah.
If you could afford it,
And with all of that work, of course, the parental support is paramount, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of times when you have practice 5:30 in the morning, the kids don't get there themselves, right?
right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
So you need parental support, and of course, we want to stress to the parents. If your child has a dream of going on to the next level, whether that be in college or high school or something in the United States, they have to learn to balance books and ball.
Very
Yeah.
important.
Do not take them out. Like when you hear this thing, they're not coming to training for the next 3 weeks because they have exams. If they're supposed to be athletes, they're going to have to learn that. So
Time
you're
management.
not doing them a service by stopping them from playing the sport while they have exams. And as a matter of fact, it can have adverse effects because they need that stress relief anyway.
Right.
Right, but you can't take that away, because if they get chosen to go away somewhere and play, when it's time for exams, it's not that there's no way that the coach is going to say, oh, you don't have to play for the next 2 weeks because you have exams. No, they're going to have to manage both. You have to teach them that, and from now they have to
No better
sacrifice
time than now.
everything else. Sacrifice everything else. Put away the friends, go into the movies, whatever. But you got to keep books and you got to keep ball.
Totally agree. All right. Any last minute words before we head out?
I just want to remind everyone that, tickets are on sale. Go ahead and grab them, right? You can get them on eventpro.ky or go to CaymanIslandsClassic.com. Don't wait until the last minute. Sometimes people take their risks and all of that. Wait till the last minute. Don't do it. Go and grab your
One of my
tickets.
guests saw the prices on online, and he said, Coach, those prices are extremely reasonable. And that's a fact. So I told him we did that because we want to encourage the public to be a part of such a great event.
Is that working?
Yes, it's
Lowering the prices to accommodate the public. Is that working?
well, it's much better than it was
Much better
before.
than it was before.
Yeah.
It's getting better.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's not an overnight thing. It's gonna come.
Right,
It's gonna come.
right. And people are, a lot of times, they're more willing to try something out
Yeah.
when they don't have to think that hard about whether or not they're going to spend some money. There's no doubt in our mind that the tickets are worth way more than that. And people who know basketball know that they're
The
worth
level of
way more
basketball
than
that's
that.
being played.
Right, but again, just getting people to giving them that chance to experience it, and we know that once they get in there and they get a sample of it, then they'll understand.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you know what? Coming up next, we have MLB clinics, Major League Baseball clinics. Are going to be here starting this Friday. So we're going from that, and then I think it's the Classic coming up on Sunday. So we're going to hear all about that in a minute. Let's hear a word from our sponsor, Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside. Gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate
Pleasure
Thank
to be
you.
here.
We'll
as
see
all
always.
the best with the tournament. I'll see you there.
Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. During the last Lionistic year, they successfully carried out community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, site screenings, spelling bees, swim meets, and their community food pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service during the 2024-2025 Lionistic year and for many more years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman. Where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Can you tell me what does a turtle do on his birthday? He celebrates.
Celebrate your loved one's special birthday with a birthday shout-out live on For the Record with Mr. Oret Connor, only on Radio Cayman. WhatsApp your loved one's name to 925-3261. That's 925-3261. Radio Cayman's birthday shout-outs live on For the Record with Mr. Oret Connor every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands. From Tortuga Wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. They keep your car in tune. Call 949-9570 or 525-9571.
System 1 loaded.
For the Record, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 9:30, we interview the various government ministers, opposition, and Cayman Island legislators. For the Record is brought to you by West Bay Pharmacy at Centennial Towers. Visit us today for fast, efficient, and professional service. Everything you need and the hours you need it at West Bay Pharmacy.
Start your day in the know. Don't miss a beat. Radio Cayman's 7 a.m. news keeps you informed every Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Brought to you by Cayman National, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974.
Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. In the studio, we have the program director for baseball and softball and YMCA Cayman Islands, Coach Bill Souza. As we promised, we have you back in the studio to talk about the MLB clinics that's coming up this weekend.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. How are things going? I mean, what last-minute preparations are you and your team working on to ensure this clinic, runs smoothly?
Right now, tomorrow we're going to spend a lot of time at the facility with a lot of the rain that we've had. We've definitely, got a lot of weeds popping up and different things that we'd like to not have there when the guys are out working with the kids this weekend. So other than that, I think that's the biggest thing. I think it's nice that this is our second time doing this. So a lot of it was kind of, I hate to say rinse and repeat because it's always different. We always want to make it better, but we have that blueprint from January when they came down in the past, and we're able to just build off of that. So it's been busy, but it's making things a little bit easier to guide through.
Awesome. And how are you guys handling the logistics of accommodating both the MLB players and, of course, college softball coaches?
Yeah, I'm actually glad you asked that, because it gives me an opportunity right away to thank a couple of our sponsors that have helped out immensely with making this happen. First and foremost, DART is helping out with the accommodations.
Nice.
So that was a huge help. We probably wouldn't have been able to move forward without their support. So working with a few of their staff members with making sure that the hotel's ready, that they have what they need there, and everybody's going to be taken care of as far as accommodations. And then Cayman Airways has also come on board, and they helped out with flights for those of them that were traveling from the Florida area where Cayman Airways flies to. So it's been wonderful to have both of those organizations a part of it and helping out to make sure we can keep offering this to our athletes.
Awesome. And what measures are in place for you guys to ensure, I guess, the safety and well-being of all participants during this clinic?
Safety at the Field of Dreams is something, at least I know the kids probably hate hearing me talk about sometimes, because I take it very seriously. A baseball is very hard, and I've been hit by it many times. It doesn't feel good. Sometimes it is part of the game. But we do have a lot of safety equipment. The fields itself are built with the fences, everything needed. The kids will all have their proper equipment so that they're not slipping around. And thankfully, I don't see any wood around for me to knock on, maybe this here, but hopefully the rain's behind us.
Yes.
So that way we have some really nice weather for the kids, and the players like to get out there and be in the sun while they're playing ball.
Can you provide any updates on the number of registrations so far?
Yeah, I think last I checked, we're definitely over 100.
Okay.
Which is great. I think we're right about where we were the last time the guys were here, which is just amazing. As much as I always say I'd love to have more, the one nice thing about it is looking at, because we'll break the kids into groups, so they work through different stations. And the smaller, so to speak, we can make those, the more reps the kids get when they're working with the players, so that way they're able to get more out of the training.
Yeah, awesome. And how are you planning to manage the schedule to maximize the learning experience for each young kid?
Well, one thing is going through the experience we had with the players last time, and then Reggie Jefferson, one of the players who I work with, him and I are in contact throughout this whole process, and then even more so this last week. So he's talking with the guys a lot. They're getting very excited to come. We've got a couple of newcomers coming to check out the island for the first time and work with the kids. So they're very excited, and a lot of them do this on a regular basis. So they enjoy the game. They love the game, obviously. They had a chance to do it professionally. So they really enjoy being able to teach what they know and pass it on to the next generation. So I think they're getting more excited probably than some of our kids are, the way Reggie sounded today. But him and I talked today about a plan. He knows who's running which stations and how things are going to work. So it's a nice collaborative
He's
effort.
ready to go.
He is, yes, yeah. It's wonderful. Obviously he had his playing career in the major leagues for quite a number of years. He also did some college coaching himself, so the game's very ingrained in him.
Awesome. When does everyone come in?
So our first group is going to arrive about 1 o'clock on Thursday.
Okay.
And the last group will get in a little bit later that evening. So it's kind of nice thing with the YMCA having our own shuttle bus is that.
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it makes it nice. We get to do the fun part of going to the airport and holding the signs up with the players' names on it, so they know where they're going. And then my colleague Mark, who helps out driving the bus with the kids more often than not for camps and things like that, he's agreed to help out over the weekend and get the players to and from the hotel and the field.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about the clinics and how are you hoping it benefits the athletes? Because I know you take athletes on tours throughout the years for different tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
How are you hoping these clinics benefit them and what they can use, the information, the knowledge from these athletes they can use, when you guys are planning future trips for tournaments?
Yeah, so one thing that's nice is because we have 7 players coming down on the baseball side, 2 coming down on softball.
Okay, those are the 2 coaches?
Yeah, so 2 of them, the 2 girls, Kaylee Crutchfield and Cassie Matlock, they both played at Western Alabama University.
Okay.
I know Kaylee has coached at the community college level a little bit, and Cassie's actually playing professional baseball in Canada at the time, so she's got a very unique story.
Yeah.
But with them all, we really want to do is focus on a lot of areas, which kind of cuts down, even though we're doing a 3-hour clinic on Saturday, it does cut down the time that you're spending on infield, outfield hitting. But we want to make sure and touch on everything. But more importantly than the skill with it, because even talking to my son about it last year, how can we improve?
Right.
There was some things where he's like, we do those drills during the year. It is different. It's nice because we're learning from professionals, these guys that we look up to.
Tend to pay more attention when it's a professional telling them what to do.
Yeah, especially over dad, for sure. But with that too, I think it's the excitement and growing the love for the game.
Right.
Because I think that's going to build that more desire to continue to do those drills. I know we always get looks from our kids hitting off of a batting tee where the ball's just sitting there. Like a lot of them despise it. They want us to pitch to them, and I get that that's fun, but we always turn them to, any of your favorite major league players, look them up on YouTube, and you're going to find a video of them hitting off a tee, if not multiple.
Okay.
It's a stationary part of the game that whether you're not getting paid or you're making $40 million a year, that's part of your repertoire and part of your training. But I think it really is that love for the game that we're trying to grow. And that's what we saw with the first time we had the guys out, just watching the kids and how they looked at the players. And, especially at first when they got to the field and were very nervous to go talk to them. But then it was once the first kid went and asked for the first picture and first autograph, and they're okay. They're just chatting, and they're regular people. And then it was just, they all just rushed to the players, and then seeing the players themselves light up, and just knowing we all have that same core. As we're here for baseball, we're here for softball, and we all have that same love and passion.
Definitely.
And I think that's the more important part that we get from it. I think we've talked about it when I was here before, is that a lot of the kids on island, and especially even those ones that we have playing with us, have never even been to a professional game,
right?
Let alone had a chance to field a ground ball hit by a professional player or get instruction on their swing.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful thing all around. And I think it's helping our program grow immensely as well.
Alrighty. So you named 2 softball players that will be coming. Can you name for us the 7 baseball players that are coming?
Absolutely, yeah. We already talked about Reggie.
Yes.
As much as we thank Dart, Cayman Airways, and everybody else that helps make this happen, he's the guy with the players that helps make this happen. So we got to give big thanks to him. Reggie's an agent now, so some of these guys are his clients.
Okay.
So that's how that kind of flows in. And then other ones are guys that he's grew up playing with, or coached college with, or has those relationships with. So Reggie's obviously one of them. And then we also have Nico Goodrum is coming back. He was here with us in January. He's had a very good career. He's a second-round draft pick for the Twins back in. Forgive me, Nico, if I get the year wrong, but I think it was 2017.
Okay.
This last year he bounced around a little bit, which in my mind means he was wanted by a lot of teams. But he played started with the Twins, played for the Rays, also the Angels, and I think is with the Orioles organization now.
Okay.
We have a couple of newcomers with a gentleman by the name of Cam Robinson. That's a pitcher in the Mets organization. I believe
I know that name.
Mostly AA, a little bit of AAA in his career so far, so still working his way up. We have a gentleman by the name of Fred Dabney coming, who has had a good minor league career, but most of his career is as a minor league pitching coach. So it's very exciting to have him come along, because coaches help our coaches.
Yes.
And that's one thing we're looking at. Cornelius Randolph is coming back.
Okay.
He's an exciting story. He was the number 10 overall pick in 2018, so he has that experience of hearing his name called on draft night in that first set. And then also going ahead, we're very excited because I know we have a lot of Marlins fans on island. But Xavier Edwards is going to be joining us this year. So he's, I even told Reggie today, I was like, no offense to the rest of you because we love you all, but obviously we have a lot of Marlins fans. And since July, when he was brought up to the Marlins, he's been the starting shortstop for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's very cool. A lot of kids are looking forward to seeing him.
Good.
And Xavier's dad, Jovan Edwards, is also going to be joining us. He played up through AAA. And again, no offense to anybody, Xavier too. I think he's the one I'm most excited to talk to.
Yeah.
Because he's, I'm
that
guessing.
Was your time? Was he in your time?
He was When I was younger, yes, yeah. But I'm more excited to talk to him as a coach.
Okay,
This is a man now who I assume spent some time coaching his son growing up.
Yes.
And it's an interesting road. Like I know your
course.
dad coached you in basketball growing up, and there's a lot of friction that can exist sometimes, especially when you hit the teenage years. And that's where my son is now. We have our moments, but I think we have a good relationship when it is out to training on the field. But it's nice to be able to pick those people's brains and you know what did it take with you guys together in the same house to get your son where he's at right now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to them all being here. It's going to be wonderful.
I'm sure he had to work harder than anyone else, so that Dad, so it didn't seem like Dad was being biased or anything like that towards him. That's how it always been in sports for us, for our family. We had to, for Daddy to select us on the national team, we had to work harder than everyone else and show everyone else why we're being selected, not because of his name.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. My son definitely has to deal with that.
Yeah. I'm sure. It's not so much fun, but we understand. All right. So you mentioned something earlier. You were hoping that the weather held up and stuff. Is there, what are some of the plans to address potential weather-related issues or disruptions?
Oh, don't stress me out, Dionne.
No, I mean like if it.
We have to have some kind of contingency plan, right? So one nice thing is it's not going to fit everybody, but we do have a nice multi-purpose room at the Field of Dreams. That's in one of our upstairs offices. That's a place that we can use. That's covered. One nice thing I think about any sport is with the kids, they want to be out in the field. I'm sure the guys want to be out in the field. The ladies want to be out in the field too. But there is a lot we can learn from being in, I hate to say it, but kind of like a classroom setting.
Right.
We do that during the year when we have rain and we want to get a training in. So that's a possibility.
That's good too as well.
Yeah.
Theory. The theory part of the sport.
Yeah.
Theoretical part of the sport. Yeah.
We did reach out to some indoor options just in case. Unfortunately, some of them are for some reason taken up with basketball this weekend.
Yeah.
So they're not available. But no, we understand that. It's wonderful what's going on in the island.
Yeah,
the
it
last
is.
few years.
It is huge.
There's a lot of opportunity for kids to see sports, participate in sports. It's great. But yeah, there's some other places we still need to call just to make sure. But like I said, I keep knocking on wood that right now the weather report looks pretty good for us.
Yes.
So I think we're going to get to play baseball.
Awesome. So it starts on Friday.
Correct.
Until when?
So we have parts of things going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And Sunday as well.
Yep.
What are the times?
So Friday night we're going to be out at the fields from 5:30 to 7:30.
In the evening.
In the evening.
Okay.
Yep. Nice thing about having lights out there.
Yes.
We can.
Yes.
It's always fun for the kids to play under the lights. At least I always enjoyed it. And then Saturday we'll be out from about 9 a.m. till a little after 1. The clinic itself will go from 10 to 1.
Okay.
And then Sunday we'll be out from 10 to 12.
Okay. Awesome. I like that. And what about the females? I know you were recruiting females to be a part of baseball and softball.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So how are you going to be ensuring that female athletes receive equal attention and opportunities during this clinic?
Very good question. And Coach Haley, who I brought with me last time.
How is she?
She's great.
Good.
She's great. Yeah,
Swamped.
She
guessing.
wanted to come with me tonight, but we actually have a co-ed game tonight with our team.
Oh, cool.
And it was a little bit hard of a hit for both of us not to be there.
Yes. Understood.
I think we talked about it before. You probably know Coach Cribb.
Yes.
We definitely don't want to upset him. So he loves us doing things to help benefit the program that he helped build so long ago, and still does to this day.
Yeah.
But we wanted to make sure we just took one player off the team. But no, she's still working. I mean, even today I was helping her out with our girls' fall training for the softball program, and she's still pushing the girls. It's been amazing. We have a lot of new girls out there trying the sport out for the first time. And I won't name names because I don't know who gets embarrassed and who doesn't hearing their name on the radio or possibly on YouTube, but just watching the girls today, like I've been with them the last few weeks helping out Haley because she went from maybe having about 15 girls out the first few weeks to continuing to recruit and going to watch some of them play volleyball and talking to their friends and encouraging them to bring friends, and watching somebody go up to holding a bat like they were playing cricket to now they're hitting line drives into left field.
I understand that as well.
Or just, they're smiling coming out now. There's one girl in particular 2 weeks ago, I had to give her a pep talk just to get her to go to the plate. Like, she had no interest in going to hit. She was worried she was going to embarrass herself. And then today when she was on deck, I looked at her and I was just like, you're eager to get up there.
It's this
like,
amazing feeling seeing that. What did you say to her?
I looked at her and just told her, I was like, this is great. Like 2 weeks ago, I had.
No, I mean to
really,
get her to that point.
So I mean, the first time I talked to her and got her up to bat,
Yeah.
I just reminded her that regardless of the skill set of every girl out here, they all started where you're at.
Right.
Every single one of them has been in your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I've always loved about the softball program, and no offense to our boys and girls that play in the baseball program, because we have a wonderful family built in general at the Field of Dreams. But the girls have always been extra supportive of each other.
Okay.
And I think a lot of that stems that we've had in the past, our program was 11 to 18.
Right.
So a lot of the girls came in as 11, 12-year-olds playing with teenagers and young women.
Right.
But they've always been treated as that younger sister, and
Gotcha.
the coaching came from the older players. They made sure that you were getting that same treatment that they got from the older girls when they came in. And that still exists today. So I just kind of have told her how things have progressed with softball, and how the girls, they're all here to support you.
Yeah,
They're not here to laugh at you.
definitely,
They're not
yeah.
here to judge you in any way, because they've all been in your shoes.
Yes.
And even the best ones have a bad day.
Yeah.
So no matter what you do to go up there, it's all about you just getting better every swing that you take. And I always assure them that hitting a baseball, at least to me, I'm obviously biased, or a softball in this case, I still think is one of the funnest things to do in
Right.
sports. Like
Mhm.
if you're having a frustrating day, like Dionne, you're always welcome to come down. I'll fire up the batting cage for you, and you can picture whatever you want on that ball. And it's a great way to get the
Is that
stress
the right
out.
way from here?
If you're right-handed, yeah.
I'm a bit boy. I can do both.
You can do both, even better. Then we got to get you down.
Yeah. All right, cool. I like that. I'm glad you said that, because there's probably some coach trying to inspire or, get some young kid out there to play, and they're too shy, It's a struggle to get my daughter out there. She's 6, and there's an academy, but it starts at age 7. But she's so tall, she can start early,
Mhm.
right? But I'm thinking the more crowded it is, the more scared she is. She's like, I don't want to go out there.
Yeah.
So it's just to get her to build that trust, knowing that, you're going to have fun. It's okay. Everyone, like you said, everyone there started where you're at the moment, so don't rush. Just do what you can do. Do the best you can do, so she understands that, and she goes out there. The funny thing, she fusses to get there, but when it's ended, oh, I had such a great time. It was wonderful. Every single Saturday.
Yeah.
Same thing. So I'm glad to see that the young lady has reached to where she's eager to get up there.
Yeah, and she's not alone. That's just one
Yeah.
that I speak of. Like I had a lot of fun with them today, and for me, it's a learning experience too. Because as much as it probably shouldn't be, and I even hate saying it, it is different.
Yeah.
I think coaching females as it is males, and probably being a male, it's different.
Yes,
just
we are different.
it is.
Yeah.
It's very different.
It can be a
and-
little challenging.
and Coach Haley always tries to push me along, because obviously that's her side. Is things shouldn't be different. You're still a coach. You're coaching basically the same skills.
Yeah.
But like I realized today with some of the girls, it was better after they were doing something to go just have a quick one-on-one with them, rather than having that let's teach everybody at once with the what mistake we can learn from or what you did good. It seemed they responded a little bit more to going up and be like, hey, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Watching your brain process that play right there. Like
Right.
two weeks ago, you didn't know how to field a ground ball. Now you're fielding it. You're going for a tag. You're throwing the ball to your teammate. And it was a really good day out there. I think I hope Haley's listening and knows that the girls are
After her
improving.
game,
and
after her game, she's playing her game.
She has a lot to do with that. That's right. Yeah. Hopefully she's focused on.
And winning. You're on that team too, right?
Yeah.
You're on that
yeah.
team too, yeah.
Both on the same team. Yeah.
So what are your plans for follow-up activities or programs after the clinic, just to keep the momentum going?
We're basically right into the season.
Okay, awesome.
We had our evaluations, our player evaluations, just at the beginning of the month. So our 9-year-old players and up to our 15-year-old players all came out on a Saturday. We spent about 14 hours at the field with all the coaches. Had the kids come out, take ground balls, fly balls, take some swings, just so all the coaches can get to know them a bit. And then the next week, we got put off a little bit by the storm, but then all met back up with the coaches and sat down and did what we thought was the best job we could to put competitive teams together and make sure they were balanced. And then today I'm working on finishing up the 7 and 8-year-old teams and getting the coaches solidified. Nice. We're going to have our uniforms and equipment ordered hopefully by the end of the week.
Yes.
And then December, it's nice because the coaches are getting eager now too. Yeah. They don't want to wait till January to practice. Yeah. So I think we're going to start with some of the older kids working on some pitching and catching clinics.
Yeah.
As we've seen over the years that having pitchers throw strikes and catchers that can catch them make a huge difference on the rest of the game and how it flows for everybody. So we're gonna do that and do some hitting things and just make sure to start getting the kids out and get a chance to meet their team too. Like a lot of the kids know each other, but get them out with their group at least once before the holidays start. And then January 6th, we're off on team practices and getting ready to go.
Sounds good. You mentioned cricket earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any softball? Do you have softball or baseball players that do play cricket? And what's that transition like for them?
Yes, we do. It's very easy to pick them out because the swing is much different. You know, with the baseball bat, you hold your hands up towards your shoulders. The cricket bat is a little lower.
Okay.
So you can see them when they go up, that tendency to hold it. It's actually it can be a quick transition as long as the player wants to
change it
and kind of change
and
it
just
up
be focused.
Because it's the hand-eye coordination's the same, right? It's watching the ball hit the bat. I noticed it more with our adult softball program as we have a lot of people coming out from India, different countries, obviously. And you can see those cricket players, and they actually play slow-pitch softball quite well.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not only the contact, but they can put that ball where they want to put it on the field. So it's pretty quick. And a lot of them, even defensively, like they're used to catching balls barehanded. I know one of the dads that helped me out with my team, Little League team the last 2 years, is a cricket player. And he tried to glove a couple of times, and he was just like, Bill, I can't do it. But he's out there just stopping balls with his left hand like it's nothing, and the kids are looking at him like he's crazy. But that's what he's used to doing, and there's a lot of commonality between the two sports in that regard.
Okay. Are you guys still looking for people to take part in the clinic, or you've had enough? Are you at the limit yet, or?
No, I'm still
looking?
reaching out to some of our players. Like there's so much. These kids are so busy these days. Like I think there's some primary football league championships, something going on this weekend. So we have some players that unfortunately can't make.
And there's so many different football.
Yeah, and these I can't believe how many things these kids do and how us parents all get them to all of them throughout the week.
Can't believe how many different sports this island has.
Yeah, it's great.
It's amazing actually. When I sit down and I look at my reports that I do every day, and I look at the different sports that we do target here on island, it's amazing. Like just last weekend we had ultimate frisbee, so that was huge too. Believe it or not, that was huge.
Yeah. One of my colleagues, who I actually tried to get him to join me with us here tonight. He gets a little shy when you put a microphone and headsets on him, but he tried up until the last minute. But it's, Coach Arvin, he's one of the reasons that our program has done so well over the years. He's amazing with the kids. But he
took part in it?
He took part in the ultimate frisbee tournament last week. Yeah, he had a blast, and it seems like he's an ultimate frisbee player now. So. But it's great for the kids to have all the opportunities. I know in the States, obviously a lot bigger country, the kids do have those opportunities. But one thing I see going back there is a lot of parents are, I don't want to say forcing, but they are aiming their kids to specialize in something, because it is like immediately that goal at 7 years old, like we're going to get you that scholarship, and this is what we're going to do, and you're good at this now, so let's stick with that.
Yeah, some parents tend to see that in their kids from a very early age, I guess, and that's why they do that. Because that's the exact same thing Coach Voot and Coach Joe and Colin they were talking about, specializing, right? So at that age, that tender age of, I think he said to 11, you should be playing any sport you want, and then when you get to the teens, you venture off to maybe 2, 3, and then later on by 18 you should know. I think he said by 16 you should already know what sport out of the 2 that you want, because you can't, anything that you want to give your all to, you can't give to 2, so you have to basically choose one. So I never got the opportunity to play numerous sports. I think it was just a choice. I loved basketball, saw it, and wanted that. So I was never able to play football. I didn't play football. I've never touched a racket to play any racket sports in my life. Tennis, baseball, softball, nothing. I've not done that. Pickleball. I did pickleball the other day. That was so fun.
It is fun, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It really was. But I do believe in letting your children field different sports, because you never know which one they're going to be great at. Yeah, you never know. I don't know. I may have been great at tennis, better than basketball. You never knew, So I think it's very important you let them play the field, as they say, and then let them specialize later on, and you guide them along.
Yeah, and the different sports also develop different skills.
Yeah, definitely.
I think at their core, they're all developing the teamwork and the leadership and the discipline.
Oh yeah, I love seeing the transition between a flag football player going to play, or American football player playing rugby, or vice versa. Netball playing basketball, football coming to play basketball, and vice versa. It's amazing to see what they can do, and you can always spot them. Like that kid probably plays football. They just run the entire game.
Well, yeah, and you can see it even professionally.
Yeah,
I know there's always mixed sides of it, because I think Patrick Mahomes is one of the athletes that stands out with the conversation that we're having. But he was a 3-sport athlete.
Yes.
Obviously, he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback and MVP. But he did play. He was a middle infielder, and he was also a point guard.
Yeah, he did.
And
say
you
that.
can see him bring those skills sometimes into what he's able to do.
That's why he's so
as a
good at what he
quarterback.
does, huh?
Yeah, and it's if he didn't play those sports, maybe he's not as great of a football player as he is.
Allen Iverson as well. Football, basketball, soccer. Kobe Bryant, soccer. And baseball. He was good at baseball as well. Yeah, huge. All right.
Yeah.
Any last words before we head out? I just looked up and the time has left us.
Well, that's always good. That means we're having fun, right?
Yeah.
No, again, I think I'd like to thank you and Radio K-Man for having me on again. I know it's, I think, the second time this month, so really appreciate it, giving us the time to talk about our program and the good things that we're doing. Yeah. And would like to thank Dart and Cayman Airways again, and also Reggie Jefferson and all the guys that are coming out. I really wish we could keep them here on Tuesday for you so we can bring them in and have them talk to you.
Next time
we'll have to work on that. Yeah.
Next time. I'll be looking forward to it. I'll remind you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, they have to either come in early on the Tuesday or leave by that Wednesday.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's it for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. If you would like the opportunity to be a part of our show, please feel free to email me at sportsextrakman@gmail.com. You can also check out our Radio K-Man Sports Extra social media pages, where we cover all the sports, or we try to cover the most of what we can on our pages. And of course, you can log on to Radio K-Man's YouTube channel for tonight's edition. We were cutting in and out as the stream went off a bit earlier in the show, but I think you may have gotten all of MLB action. All right, so a special thank you to Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Village. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045. I'm Dionne Anglin. Coach, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, and Haley was here last night.
Yes.
Say hello for me.
I will do.
All righty. I'm Dionne Anglin. Good night and God bless. Stay tuned.
Sports Extra, brought to you by Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Sports Extra. From 7 to 8 p.m., highlights of local sports around the Cayman Islands. Sports Extra.
It's amazing to see the improvement of the team.
Sports Extra, keeping you informed.